All right, guys, today we got a 2020 Honda CRV. This thing has got a problem that we're seeing quite a bit, and it's pretty costly to repair. We're going to see if this little bottle can fix it. Let's get into it. A little bit of backstory on this vehicle. It's not much. It came in, it's got a check engine light on. It's codes that we see that we're seeing more often, which are air fuel ratio imbalance codes in different cylinders. So not just like overall air fuel ratio codes or lean codes, rich codes. They're lean code, rich codes, but they're for an individual cylinder. And what's happening is a lot of manufacturers are really dialed into how much fuel they're putting into the cylinders at different times. I mean, they're crazy. Air fuel ratios are getting crazy to try to get better gas mileage. And it's causing some issues with check engine lights and stuff when things get just a little bit off. This is not a sponsored video. You guys know that we like ATS. You know we use their stuff. We use their chemicals. We use their scopes. We use e-scans, things like that. Zion. So we basically use all their product. We don't basically use all their products. We use everything they got. And I've seen this work, what I considered a miracle. We've used it on a few cars now. We've had very good success with it. And one of the ones that really stood out to me was we had a I want to say it was a 2023 or 2022 Mazda. Great client. She comes to us for everything. We've done all our oil services, everything on it. It had like 35,000, 38,000 miles on this car. And she came in and the thing was just sitting there going, wrong, I mean, just running really bad at idle. It's just surging horribly. And we looked over everything, looked over all the data, and drove it. We looked for any kind of vacuum leaks, just anything that was off on this thing, and could find nothing, could find absolutely nothing. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of at a loss on this thing. And I said, I'm going to just try to see if this will help it. Maybe there's an injector issue, an imbalance issue. And put this in the fuel tank, drove it for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, came back, pulled right here. Perfect, idle perfect, and has never had a problem since. And that's been 8 months ago. So what we're going to do here on this one is, this has got, come on inside, we'll show you what we got here. How much fuel do we got in this thing? Got a little over half a tank. See the check engine light is on. And the vehicle has 71,414 miles on it. So that's pretty low mileage. I'm going to tell you what I've done so far, just because I wanted to be sure. I went in and pulled the map sensor out, went in with a bore scope, and went down to the valves to see if there's any carbon buildup on the valves or anything. Valves look really good, no carbon buildup. Little teeny tiny bit on the runners and the intake, no big deal at all there. We could probably run an intake system cleaning on this thing and maybe help that a little bit, but that's not causing this issue. Here's our codes. We've got P219F. So that's cylinder 4 misfire. You can get different, they're P219s. You can get different, instead of the F, it could have a D, I think. I don't think it's A, B, C, D. I don't know why F is 4, but the last letter is going to be the designation for the cylinder. And the first 3 are going to be like, this is that air fuel ratio variation or imbalance. So that's the codes we've got. There is a test to run on this. So we're going to go into actuation test.
You're recording, right?
Yes. And we're going to go to cylinder air fuel test. Yes, there. Turn this switch off. Switch on. Turn off everything, center the steering wheel, everything's good. Steering wheel's not centered. Wheel straight?
Yep.
Okay. And it's just making sure there's no load on anything. All right, we're gonna start it. It is up to operating temperature. It has to be at operating temperature. Engine idle must be just a tiny bit high. Here we go. All right. Testing, and this thing is doing all kind of stuff. I mean, this thing's going crazy. The dashboard's lighting up like a Christmas tree. I don't know what all it's seeing or doesn't like, but it is now at cylinder 2. Cylinder 3.
7 times is...
Cylinder 4. I think what it's doing is I think it's changing the air-fuel ratio in these things. It's leaning it out, enriching it out, or whatever. It's maybe just, you know, going to run through those cycles. And there we go. So you see what we have, the pass on cylinder 1. We've only got a code for this one, but you can see that the other ones all failed. So now we've got that data. We see that that happened. We're going to put this in the fuel tank. We're going to go drive it down the road. We're going to give a few miles on this thing, and then we're going to come back and we're going to rerun the test. Let's see if it fixes it, right? And I mean, the worst case, at this point, what would fix this? Normally what people are going to do and would fix it is put injectors in it. And it's why everybody says don't just put one injector in it. If you got a cylinder 4 that's causing this issue, then you're going to want to put all the injectors in it, because all you're going to be doing is dominoing it down the road. You're just going to put one in it, and then the client's going to come back with the code.
Honda sells it as a kit.
Honda sells it as a kit, right? So we're going to try to fix this without having to put injectors in it. I don't know if it's going to work or not, and maybe it'll work on some and not on others, but we're going to see what happens here. So let's get this in the tank. Let's go take it for a drive. We're going to come back. We're going to rerun this test. Went about 30 minutes or so, and we're back in the shop, or back in front of the shop. We're gonna go ahead and run this test again, and let's see what happens. I did, as I was driving it, I was getting on it a little bit, steady speeding it. All
day.
All day. But I was, just running it through some different paces. Everything's off. We're doing that again. Yep. Okay. And coolant temp. I don't know how the coolant temp's only 183.2 degrees. I've just drove this thing to Woodbine and back. I mean, that's 30 minutes. But coolant temp sensor's at 183.2. It wants it at 186.8. We will let it grow back up there.
That doesn't make any sense. That's about to be.
Especially as hot as they want these engines to run today. It'll get there pretty quick, I think.
Warming up after a 30-minute drive.
Yeah, I mean, I literally just pulled back in here.
I know.
Honked the horn for you.
Doesn't make any sense. That's really weird.
But I will say, at the time you really feel this, the roughness is when it's cold start. Cold start is when we feel it. Other than that, it ran up. I was monitoring misfires as I drove it. It didn't have any on any cylinder, so.
Moment of truth. I'd be very surprised if it's fixed. I hope I'm wrong.
Wow. All 4 of them failed. It didn't cause the 4th one to fail. It just, that chemical didn't do that. But
that's why they have a set anyways. No, that's worth a shot.
That's why they have what?
That's why they do the whole set.
Yeah, that's why they do the set right here. So sadly, it did not fix it on this one, but we're going to keep on trying this. We're going to, it's not a waste, because it's super easy to do. You could stick somebody in here to drive it, come back, run the test again. And I'd love to you guys leave comments down there if you had it work. We have had it work. Just didn't work on this one, but this is real. We're going to show you the video one way or the other. Here's another thing. Know that you can test these things out, because I get a lot of texts that contact me for stuff. And this air-fuel ratio deal is becoming a more common thing with a lot of vehicles. And they're struggling. And I see a lot of posts online and stuff where they're struggling to diagnose it. Know that you can go in here, you can do this and determine what it is. And if it is like that, again, going through the different processes, are the valves good? Are they, is there any buildup on the valves? That's going to be your number one thing. You got to be able to make sure that there's not, because you'll get turbulence in the cylinder that you don't want. You got to make sure that's out of the loop. Make sure that the engine is running, otherwise there's no other issues with it as far as, vacuum leaks, things like that. Do your normal diagnosis, but once you're done with that, especially if it's one cylinder, then come in and do this and make sure that, you know, this fails. And if it does fail, you'll probably see multiple cylinders, and then you know, all right, we got to put injectors in it. So we're going to go to the client and see if they want to do the injectors. Got authorization, sent somebody to Jacksonville to pick up the injectors and the intake O-rings. Baby G is on it. He's being a superstar right now and going to have this thing done today. So we're going to show it fixed. We're going to do the test again once we get it driving. And we'll come back once he's done. He's already got I watched him torque the high pressure fuel line on. He's getting the rest of it on now. Look at a little baby intake on this thing. Said the intake wasn't bad. Said the throttle body was not fun. So he's going to get it. Roll cart. Okay. Right there. They're there. You're not going to be able to tell anything with them. But
yeah.
I don't know. The tip of them pretty nasty. Yeah. Hard to tell from there. All the magic happens on the inside. Yeah, there's a line. Some others.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. Yep. So as soon as he gets it done, we'll get it warmed up, and we will get it driving, warmed up, retested, and let you guys see what the results are. Test is running. We're on cylinder 3. So we got that one, and then 4, and then the moment of truth. It won't take long here. We did take us a couple of minutes to get it warmed up good. You have to take it up in RPM to get it there. It doesn't like to stay up there.
It's actually taking a lot longer to run the test, which is probably a sign of difference.
You think it's longer to run the test?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it is.
Moving much slower.
I don't know. That's been this morning, so, or early afternoon. I can definitely feel it, but I could feel it then too, I think. Voila. Full bore pass. Yay. We're happy. That's it.
End of the week.
That's it. It's Thursday afternoon, end of the week. Baby G has pulled a miracle.
Yes, thank you.
Got these done. And the client's going to be super happy, going to have their vehicle back for the weekend. You know, as happy as they can be needing these kind of repairs on a under 72,000 mile Honda. Sure, we're just saying, I guess we're not ever going to be slow again if we got a 72,000 mile Honda with needing fuel injectors in it. And we got a Jeep next to us with 45,000 miles on it, engines. I mean, they're all over the place. But anyway, hope you guys like this. If you did, you know what to do. Subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, get them out there, spread the love. We're going to tease that Jeep. Oh, yeah.
Wait till you hear that.
Wait till you hear that story. Yeah. We'll see you in that one.